Tommy is like hugs the hanging body's legs. We all know that he took the faggot thing a little harder than most.
I'm just saying, Tempus.
Argus, where are you?
These friends will never leave me.
Oh god.
See, they're dead. Shake a leg.
This all started because of Frank the Ogre. Alright. Alright, guys.
Yeah, let's continue.
Right, okay.
In a briefly lower tone. Just saying, Tempus, I think you're trying to make more friends with their wealth than that.
Fine. And Tempus will stand up, and there's a faint jingle from his pocket as he starts walking with Hurim out of the bar-ish area that they're in.
And we'll just ask Geráck to lead us to the shop. You found it, I presume.
Of course.
Oh.
Geráck leads them back to the guild.
Since you're in the guild district, it's not too far. And sure enough, there it is, just as abandoned and not traveled or trafficked. This, shop, of course, no one's trying to come in because, closed and all. And the manservant, bored individual with no armor, no weapons, looks down the stairs again and says, "Shop's closed. Have a nice day."
By any chance, you look quite the manservant. Did you by chance go out the name? And he pulls out a scroll and looks at it. Thomas at all? Tim?
The bored individual gets far more interested, and by interested I mean suspicious, as he warily looks at Tempus and says, "Yeah?"
Ah, brilliant. And Tempus I guess, is Tim sitting down still? Or
He's sitting down in a chair, yeah.
Right, okay, Tempus will come over and kind of squat so he's the same height as Tim and goes, "You owe a few favours. I'm here to cash in on those favours." And Tempus will sort of cap his nose with the scroll.
Tim will
smile.
Look befuddled at Tempus and reach up his grubby hand to take the scroll.
See, I have a few friends, and they all decided to tell me you owe a few favours. And unluckily for you, they've given those favours to me. As such, I'm here to cash in on those, especially, and he sort of, speedily unfurls the scroll that Tim's holding and points to it, especially for these reasons here, and I'm sure these are quite familiar, yes?
Tim says, "Well, I still can't read, but I do recognize this particular symbol. So, in short, fuck."
See, you're a lot smarter than you are. Now, see, me and my friends, there, and he sort of stands up and sort of waves a hand gently down to the...
Maybe not talk here. We can walk around to the back, there's an alleyway. Maybe not, look. He looks over away from Tempus towards not the front of the shop.
It's a fantastic idea. Please do lead the way.
Right, so yeah, Tim stands up, noticeably nervous and uncomfortable, and not bored. And
Tempus will wrap an arm around Tim's shoulders, so he's very close to Tim as he's walking.
Tim looks like he wants to push off the arm and will not push off the arm. He scurries about as best he can, if goes to an alleyway, and he spins around and "All right, what do you want to know?"
Tempus will look up to hear him. And sort of, furl his eyes. We believe your employer has some ties. We're looking to see those very, very much ties. Specifically with a rather seedy group of people. By any chance... Tempus will look over at Hurim, wave a hand, because out of character I've totally fucking forgot the name of the gang.
What are we looking after? The Black Fang, is that what you're...
That's the one, thank you.
I'll hear more of that name
It's
to
not
this
very
guy,
memorable.
but, you know.
Not very important.
Let's say, well, seems that you have a few things to tell.
All right.
Where is your employer?
Well, he said he was on vacation. I suspect, though, that it's a bit different. He almost never takes those. He had a weird look to him about 4 days ago, as I told those two over there, and he points towards the two who visited previously. And he decided that he wanted to take a break, so he gave everyone the day off, gave everyone all the time off until the first of the new month, even gave us the pay for the time we would otherwise have worked, which he's never done in all of the time I've known him, and said goodbye. And then he shrugs. I imagine something spooked him, and he's gone off to his bolt hole somewhere in the heights where all the noble people are. But he told me, in order for me to make sure I still had a job, to sit here and tell all the loyal customers that shop is closed. So here I am.
Do you know where this place he's gone hiding is?
I have never been in the heights before. What do you take me for? Like, he looks at you incredulously, and then at his clothes, and then back to you.
Sure looks at him in a way that suggests that maybe he took him for someone who didn't talk back to someone who had him with six adventurers in an alleyway.
Tim the manservant looks at your look and then reconsiders his stance and says, "Look, man, I couldn't get past the guards even if I wanted to."
Does Thurl normally live in this building?
He will stay here on the top floor. He does have a sectioned off area of it. His bolt hole is his home away from home. Whenever he is spooked about some sort of trade deal gone awry or whatever. Shrugs. He likes to stay with his goods, though, normally.
How much control does he have over his trade company? Do all sales go through him?
Tim blinks. Well, it's not my field, but as far as I'm aware, he doesn't allow anyone to handle the money except for himself. He has, like, intermediates who handle other facets, like the ship enterprise, and then the caravanning that happens along the southern coast of the Midland Sea. Not that there's much value in that, what with all the constant attacks from who knows what, but he primarily handles all of the money enterprises himself. He's the sole owner, and while he does have some contacts, shrugs. I'm pretty sure he has as much control of this as I think he does.
Does he ever get visitors from Little Dragon Hall?
Like, he, like, starts to, like, try to talk back to you? Sort of like a how the fuck would I know? And he clearly thinks better of it and says, I don't know, maybe. Like, visitors come from all over to buy stuff here.
I'd like to see the inside of the shop.
I'm sure you would, but I can't open that door. Like, I literally can't open the door. I don't have a key. So do the mercenaries.
He's the only one who has the keys.
Well, since the shop doesn't really stay open without him, I would predict so that he's the one with the keys. He doesn't trust me with the key.
He packed a lot of things before he left, then.
No, I imagine
Well, I suppose he has a place up there anyway.
I'm sure all of the equipment that he sells to adventurers is still in there, resting on the shelves and the racks. Because I can't think of anyone who would be so stupid as to try to break in.
Why not? Why would that be stupid?
Guards, man. Like, they're all connected. This is actually one of the better jobs I think I could get. No one wants to try to rob this place. The last time someone tried that was 9 months ago when guards were here in... he tries to count on his hands 2-3 minutes? Well, the shop was still open. And whenever the guards arrived, the guards who stay here, the ones that Thildorol pays himself, had already handled the robbers. Even though there's no guards here right now, the city would still send some.
What exactly do you do for Thildorol? In general, the day's business.
I handle moving crates and barrels in and out of the shop. There's a back door access, which is just as locked as the front. And stuff that he doesn't want to do, of course. Move equipment as it's being sold. So, put it on wagons, take it off wagons, that sort of thing. Not a bad job, all things considered. Just boring.
You get paid well?
Well, the fact that I don't have to worry about someone trying to rob the shop is very securing. Wouldn't want to get hurt while doing this. I have a life.
How is he as an employer? Is he kind or
He's
greedy?
He's about what I think a dwarf in business is. No offense to you. He's very demanding.
And if you fail to live up to his demands?
He will reduce the amount that he will pay you until you successfully meet his standards. My standards aren't that much, and I've got a good feel for them over the past 2 years. But I know some of the other folks he's hired, fighter types like adventurers, or like mercenaries for like guards, or I don't know, whatever he pays people for. They haven't done so well, and they've returned empty-handed. He's like interested in... There's one name that keeps coming up that I've heard in... I'm only saying this because you guys are here, like a Tempus Malleator. Like, whoever that guy is, Thurl is very interested in him. I'd hate to be that guy. Something about, like, no matter how much money Thurl spends on it, he always thinks that he'll make more in the long run if he gets this Tempus guy. I haven't tried to ask myself. He's a pretty successful merchant. He probably knows more about business than I do.
Must have a hell of a bounty on this guy's head.
I don't know about that. Just finding this guy seems to be valuable to Thurl for whatever reason.
Do you know what prompted this sudden holiday? Was there anything odd before it happened?
Well, other than him just acting different, again, he isn't one for vacationing. He's certainly not one for paying all of his employees. We get to not work and we get the money as if we work. Well, except for me, I have to sit here, but I don't have to move stuff around. He seemed... Well, uncharacteristically not like him, like he was worried or scared about something. Again, he's had these moments in the past where maybe like a deal's like gone south, or he was worried that someone would try to like take revenge on him, and he goes to like hide in his bolt hole somewhere in the heights. The only other thing that I can think of is that a group came in. Yeah, I guess it was. It was the night before that, so 5 nights ago. We were just closing up I was busy hauling stuff in and out, making sure that all the debris was cleaned out so that the shop could run next day. Group of 4 individuals came in and spoke with him. I didn't hear much of anything, because I'm not paid to listen to that, and I left. He seemed really well pleased about that, and then the next day he was not himself.
Did the group have any sort of insignia on them, or any identifying features?
They were very well equipped, except for one who didn't appear to be wearing any armor. One of them looked like a hulking, brute type with his plate mail, almost like he was some sort of, knight or what have you. Then another one of them, he had a staff, and he had this glowing look to his eyes, and he reminded me faintly of the last time I visited my mom, and, well, she's in the grave, been that way for a long time now, and I certainly didn't want to approach him. And then the unarmored one, she was just quiet, and I don't think she said a damn word the entire time she was in here. The last one, he was like a swarthy fellow, like he had a well-groomed beard, like he was like a noble type, and he was the real talker.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, they looked pretty distinctive. Like, I've seen lots of adventurers come and go, but they look like they've been on many adventures.
Do any of you others want to have a go? I don't want to steal all the...
Why does he need you to stand here when a sign would do?
He prides himself on maintaining his business, and so he wants me to, I suppose, actually earn the money I'm getting paid for doing nothing? Tim shrugs. Like, signs can be stolen or, vandalized, but me, no. Anyone hurt me while I was on his property, the guards would be over it too. He says hopefully.
We've not hurt you, though.
I didn't say you had. Why are you saying that? Tim looks very worried now.
Tempus just smiles, just having left that in the air.
Tim is not smiling now.
Sure. Looks to Tim and says, "You know what sort of connections he has. You know he wouldn't do anything like that."
Right.
Does anyone know you're here? Do you live alone?
No.
Tim?
Would anyone miss you?
Oh dear, dear, dear.
Looking very panicked.
No need to. No, God. No need to worry.
He doesn't believe you. He does not relax.
Is there anything else you could tell us about Thorol that we might find interesting?
I don't know what you
Something
would
that
find
most people
interesting.
wouldn't know. Something most people wouldn't know.
I'm not in his confidence. Only that he almost always keeps the shop open and works.
Tempus
Where
has
does he
no
seem to
idea.
get his merchandise from?
Well, as it turns out, there's plenty of adventurers who come in trying to sell things for money, because they're desperate, and they don't actually own shops themselves. He takes all of that at a reduced rate, and then sells it himself, because he has the money to invest in it, and he can sit on it for days and weeks, and eventually some other adventurers come in wanting it, and they buy it from him. Turns out there's a lot of people wanting to do good and clear out dungeons and kill orcs somewhere in the world, I guess.
we ever see ourselves in a fantasy world, that's a fantastic career option.
Like metagame
It's kind of
wise,
like a used car deal salesman.
like metagame wise, like adventures. This is pretty much what fucking adventures. This is what you people do.
We sell everything at half price.
This is the other story. Like what happens whenever you sell this shit to the guy at half price.
All our 19 masterwork axes and
Yes.
16 leather armors and
All the things you hoard and put on the mount or whatever to carefully, like, take with you out of a place.
Well, all I'm getting here from this meeting is that we come back later tonight and take a peek inside.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, why not do it now? There's a back door.
True that we want to make sure we're not seen. Doing it at night is more likely to be not noticed.
One of the things I was
Well, we
going
have
to ask-
information on
like-
Tim that makes him want to not mess with us, right?
There are powerful, magically enhanced lampposts all over the guild district. Like, this is one of the largest cities in the Empire, one of the 7 largest cities. Like, this shit will be traveled even at night, just not as well traveled, and this is on a main thoroughfare in the guild, because this is a well-liked and popular shop.
Is the back door like in an alley or is
No,
it just?
it's not.
It's just as easily seen as the front door.
Pretty much, yes.
I'm just thinking that I don't care about this place. If Thurl doesn't live here, why would he keep anything secret here? Any sort of paper or something, he's going to have in his bolt hole.
Or when he was running away, he may have grabbed a lot of
Yeah,
the things.
he's taking all of it with him.
I mean, the point is, he said he did live here normally.
He likely met with Death's Hand, who said something along the lines of, we burned those guys' ship.
Yeah.
And then we were back in town, and he was like, ooh.
Well,
I
if
should get away.
he left in a hurry, you might have missed something.
I don't think he would miss something. I don't think he would keep anything here in the first place.
I mean, he was
would-
here. He was here most of the time, is what we were told.
Yeah, but if you got a well-protected place up in the noble place that nobody ever
Right.
visits, then
When if you're here most of the time, you don't have too many opportunities to move it.
I mean,
no. But
he might have
I don't think he would be a guy who generally would document all his, bad deals. But I think going for the noble place would be better.
Would you know
How long
to
will
find
these
his
figures take us,
photo?
though? I don't know what kind of things it is we have on this guy.
there might be a ledger here though where he sort of writes down who he sends
He's
to
had business
buys
with this
from.
person, this person, this person. Oh, look, a noble we can deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like he sold all these things to a Mr. Johnson, and all these things too, and all these things too. Huh.
Keeping logs of business is a reasonable thing.
Yeah, I mean, we can break in if you like. I just don't know if it's worth the trouble. In the
I
noble
think-
district, we have
I
a lot
think-
of we can
I'll
draw
do-
upon some of the connections to
I'm
find
gonna
out
just
where he is and how to get in.
play a card here. We've been told that this building is very well lit, that it's locked, and he does not possess the key. So he just sits outside the building. I mean, we could maybe shake him up a bit, try and see if he, if he's just bullshitting us and he actually does have a key and he sleeps
With
in
your
the
icon
basement.
relationship dice? No, he's not fucking bullshitting you. He does not, as it turns out, want to die because he's not stupid.
Okay.
So this would be high risk and maybe some sort of information, while the noble district would be
Yeah, that would be high
potentially
risk
much
as well.
lower risk. Yeah, it would be high risk as well, wouldn't it? Depending
We are-
on where
Well,
his
if
bolt hole
fewer
is.
people know that he's there, then fewer
Like-
people will be watching over the place.
Yeah. We sort of need clearance to go in.
And we have more. We have a fistful of
Fives.
passes with little strings attached to them
I don't want those
to do
strings.
things in the noble district. No, they're never that nice, but getting in sometimes into it. I mean, it seems he has something he wants to hide, and that means he has something we want to know, right?
Did say that he was really interested in Tempest. Could use him as bait.
Well, that's worked in the past before.
I don't think he can sell Tempus as bait. He's well known in this city at this point.
Yeah.
Even if people don't know it's him. We can't imagine Thurl's Roll doesn't know what group he travels with.
But the point is, use him as bait an opportunity
Right
that
under
he
his
could get to.
nose.
Yeah, that's what. Well,
He's normally not an opportunity where he could get a hold of him.
So,
You know,
so the five
I have heard
like,
the same bait argument spread out over the course of half this damn campaign.
Yes, you have.
you get in. These nobles will let you in to his hideout, and they will go with you with their guards. The five, they want to capture you as well, and they think they have a chance. Oh. That'll be bad, but no.
I would say we try to go for the
no
noble
place.
district first. Yep, we're on the same page.
I mean,
Yeah.
this Tim still won't. He probably still wouldn't want to die tomorrow, right?
There's likely to be more useful information in the noble district.
Well, we can
And-
thank him
and-
for his time and say that,
and he
that
is
we
there
will
as
be
well,
looking
so-
forward to seeing him later.
Tim does not
And
look
that
like
we
he will be
appreciate
looking
his
forward.
discretion.
And Tim also does not look like he will be telling anyone.
He seemed to be a man who appreciates the finer things in life, and who knows? Maybe we can help each other again sometime.
Right. Okay, you leave Tim the manservant behind. You fucking brutal people, you.
I did nothing.
Exactly. You just
And
stood
by
there.
doing nothing, you
I
are
didn't
just as
watch either.
complicit.
I didn't know what happened.
I didn't watch, therefore I'm innocent.
Exactly.
You can't use the
All I
Thomas
said
defense.
was that he should be
Put his
worried
helmet
about
on
his health,
backwards.
safety.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see what happened. I didn't hear what you said. I'm innocent.
So literally, you put your helmet on backwards, like whoop.
No, I was
You,
watching the street.
Alright,
I mean-
you walk away from the store. You're still in the guild district.
I get so afraid when you ask if they have family.
I wonder why.
Just a case of a phrase
Well.
of like he's looking around, just going, the guards are usually here. I hope. Oh, we're not going to hurt you.
I mean, do you guys think that there's any use? Now we need to just find this hidey hole.
Hidey hole. In a very large city of about a good 30,000 adults.
You have it limited to a district.
And we
bit
also
of
have a
the
name.
city.
I mean, if he wants to have any sort of official protection, he'll have to have it associated with his name. I'm sure there's some sort of address registry thing we can look up, at least for the heights.
Probably
Find out who this. I don't think they allow squatters.
You would
Or
you would also need an extensive amount of like time to like look through all of the papers, and even then you wouldn't have access to all the papers. Like there are nobles who have more privilege than you do.
Well, if nobles are anything like I'm imagining them to be, then gossip is certainly a big thing for them, meaning that maybe there's a house that conspicuously stands empty most of the time, except when a dwarf enters every now and then.
And
So
all of a
maybe we
sudden
can-
you see weird shadows dancing in the light.
Maybe we can use one of the fives to just get someone to talk, basically. You know,
I mean, I
maybe it's
imagine the
common
fives are
knowledge
like
that's
constantly-
something.
We have heard that you haven't been paying your taxes, and we're very interested to know what you know about Forgeborn.
Yeah, exactly, basically.
And that's basically what the fives are, right? And they're like, "Oh, you know, my tax things, huh? Let's get rid of you."
Yes, the one most appropriate for this, if you wish to use that route, would be the Elf Queen Conflicted 5. If you want to spend some time, it'll take like an hour to walk to the Heights District, and you'll have to basically spend until evening, like finding the right person, making sure you can actually get an appointment with him, and being all like, "So hey, the taxes."
This is
Well,
about the Elf Queen.
We run around the heights going, does this mean anything to you?
Yes, yes.
Just keep asking people if they've paid their taxes until we find someone who's like, "Yes."
Right. And even then, like, even then, like, the person that you ask directly and expend this 5 for won't immediately know off the top of their heads, but they would look into it for you and actually be able to give you a location of where this is. But you'll be told that you wouldn't get it until tomorrow. Possibly tomorrow afternoon.
Well, who is this person? Can we know? Like, it's not like we're looking, like, saying, "Oh, we'll just destroy the evidence for your, like, wanton murder."
Right. I don't have a name or a suggestion for you because I don't have details on the fucking blackmail listed beyond what I gave you.
I'm glad that it's the Elf Queen connection. That's not that bad.
No.
The Diabolist one click.
Yes.
No, this is the one most fitting for this, as the Elf Queen and Dwarf King are pretty standoffish.
Yeah.
In that regard. Some elves who, like... I mean, there are elf restaurants that cater to, like, elven cuisine, so, like, this fucking, like, elf restaurant, in particular, like, this noble here, maybe he has been known to, put some, unsavory meat types in the food that is served at the restaurant. And in exchange for making sure that no one ever learns about that, he'll try and find this Thurl who's a dwarf, and so, you know, like,
Sure. Sure.
But
if we ever hear from you again, sir, which we duly expect.
Yes, he is certainly mortified over the fact that this blackmail has come back to haunt him, this information. But he is
almost
quick
like
enough
he
to...
used to fight one time. We are his consequence.
Maybe that is so. Maybe that is so.
Circle of fives.
Motherfucker.